Hi everyone, I am person number 4, so I will be presenting on the following questions. What are the expectations for babies and toddlers in play in Rhodeville? What are the expectations for babies and toddlers when communicating and interacting with adults? And what types of questions are asked of children? So to start with expectations for babies and toddlers in play, a lot of what I read involved the idea that parents provide support and educational toys for children up until the age of 4 when they start nursery school. After that, parents kind of see their job in choosing their children's toys as done, and that school can kind of take over. Parents do make sure up until that point that most of the toys children play with are educational toys. When a child is interacting with an adult or playing with an adult, the adult most often expects that the child bring a toy, such as a ball or a game, to play with that child. They talked a lot about how normally a parent or an adult wouldn't be seen interacting with that child unless a toy was present. I also read a lot that even when adults do start interacting with children and with their toys, a lot of times they will get the child started and then kind of set the child off to play on their own, and it is kind of seen as a learning experience for the child to play by themselves with some of those educational toys. As far as the expectations for babies and toddlers when communicating with adults, there's sort of this belief that children need to learn to say it right. So there's a lot of repeating, a lot of filling in. For example, if a child is pointing at a tomato and saying red, giving an attribute of the tomato, the child would most likely be corrected and told that's a tomato. There's a really big emphasis on that, saying it right, and not so much learning and giving an attribute of something. So babies learn by repeating language that their parents say. There's a belief that mothers must talk to children and teach them to communicate. A lot of times parents are wanting their child to just produce the language that they want to hear. It's kind of a fixed way of learning. There's not a lot of alternatives to children learning how to speak. And then as far as what types of questions are asked of children, so most often there's 4 different types. It starts with question statements, which starts when children are very, very young and other adults come into the household. These are questions that are asked to the baby, but obviously the baby can't answer back, and so they are meant for the mother in kind of a passive way. Most often these questions are formed around the baby's state of affairs. Are you hungry? Do you need your diaper changed? All the while hoping that the mother is overhearing this. Another type of question is the Q1. This is questions that are asked to the child even though the questioner knows the answer already. And then there are question directives. These function more as directives for the child or commands to be given to the child. And then there's A1, which asks about the state of affairs or the wants and desires of the family. I wrote a lot of this down on my note catcher, as well as page numbers where you can find examples of some of the things I talked about. I will upload that with my video as well. Thank you.